Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, Adrian here. Welcome back to the channel and to a new post-stream vlog, this time for Rift Prime. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream on Sunday, which was April the 1st, and hey, happy belated Easter too. So, thankfully no April Fool pranks on stream or whatever, it just went smoothly, it went fine. Anyway, it is a brand new month, which means it's a brand new review cycle, and it's now time to review Rift. Now, there's been a couple of questions about why I'm reviewing Rift Prime, the Prime server, over the original Rift Live servers. A couple of reasons. I think the first one is that Rift Prime has been generating a lot of hype and buzz and expectation from the player base, those who are currently playing Rift and those who have formerly played Rift and are now coming back, because the Prime server promises, it's a classic server, it's all about nostalgia, it's limited progression, and more will be included over time, that kind of thing. So I'm kind of naturally attracted to the aspect of checking out Rift in that, I suppose, angle, or through that lens, of seeing people coming back. There's a more specific player base to check out the content, and the level cap is only 50. So, and the second reason is that you have to pay for it. The original Rift servers, the live servers, are free to play, with obviously all those cash shop stuff in there, and you have to buy all the expansions and everything. But to access the Rift Prime server, you have to be an active subscriber, which costs about $14.99 US a month. So for me, I would rather, the choice was easy. I think Rift Prime for me is like the new thing on the block, and I can kill two birds with one stone. I can see and play and experience the core Rift gameplay on the Prime server, in addition to seeing whether this Prime server is actually worth the $14.99 or not. And that's, through the 1 month or whatever, I'm trying to get behind. I'm trying to get into Trion's minds. Why is the Prime server a thing? Is it just nostalgia, or is there actually going to be something good about this server, and or about the community here that's worth checking out? So as ever, I'm spending the money and the time to do this so that you guys don't have to, and I'm really excited. It's a new adventure. In addition, it's just one on the pile now of all the other MMORPGs I'm currently playing. But I'm happy to be in Rift. It's been 5 years, I think, since I last played Rift actively. So yeah, let's talk about the stream. Let's talk about the first week. Let's talk about what I've experienced and what's been going on so far. Unlike the other review cycles that I usually do, Rift Prime is going to be slightly different. It's going to be a bit slower as well, because there are a bunch of MMORPGs that are coming out with new content in the coming weeks and months. For example, Secret World Legends this week is coming out with new content. The Elder Scrolls Online has a new expansion, and yeah, there's a bunch more I'm forgetting. So I'm going to have to be juggling, Rift Prime alongside all these other games, trying to level in them. So I'm going to take my time with Rift Prime, and I'm also leveling 2 characters. One on the Guardian side, which is the first faction in Rift, and then the Defiant side, which is the second Rift faction. So I'm leveling 2 characters. I'm probably going to get one to the cap, and we're going to do some level cap content or whatever while we wait for the next progression or content or level cap to increase on the Prime servers. So for the streams, I picked a Guardian Warrior class to get started. And right off the bat, Rift has a lot of lore in terms of its story, why you are called the Ascended. The game does do a good job at setting the setting, essentially, of telling you what's going on in this world. There's the Guardians, there's the Defiant, and then there's the evil dragon Regulus or whatever, and lots of time travel involved. It's just that sort of game. So the tutorial, pretty much lots of lore dumps and everything, and I think I spent like an hour in the tutorial for the Guardian side, simply because how it is on live streams. I'd like to chat with you guys a lot as I move along in the game, so that took a while. And I got out into the starting zone, the Silverwood or something, for the Guardian side. And as you guys saw on stream, like I said, as far as first impressions go, the first thing that really jumps out of me here in week 1, leveling on Rift Prime, is that yeah, the game was released in 2011, and the combat system definitely feels like something from that period or earlier. One of my things, or I'm at a disadvantage because I come from World of Warcraft in December, and then I reviewed Black Desert Online in Feb, and those 2 combat systems are arguably superior to Rift in every sense of the word, in terms of animations, fluidity, execution, and it just Rift's combat system feels a lot slower, and at the very early levels you'll know that you only have like 3 or 4 skills, so it's all tippy tappy on a couple of buttons all the way until the mobs are dead. But that's the key takeaway for me so far. Pedestrian combat, really slow, and I know it gets better because while I do have like now a level 9 Guardian warrior out of the tutorial, I've been playing a Defiant rogue character who's now level 20. And the combat on him is it's better, the higher level you get, and there's a lot of factors that goes into that as well, like what are you fighting, how many mobs did you pull, are you doing group content, or are you just soloing a landscape, and what is the level gap between your character and the mob landscape, the landscape mob. So all these things are going to be factoring in, and that's why this is only my thoughts about week 1. Will it change by the end of the review cycle? I hope so. And moving on, graphic wise, decent. I mean decent. I am playing everything on the highest graphic settings, and Rift is, what is it now, 7 years old, and I think large parts of the game holds up, environments hold up, textures and everything look good, I suppose, but all these things are just aesthetics at this point. What I'm really looking forward to is jumping into things that I remember as being the most fun stuff to do for me when I was playing it back in 2013. Stuff like PvP, Battlegrounds. I'm not even sure if they're called Battlegrounds, but we're just going to go with that. There's arena PvP matches between factions, and then there's the group content as well that I'm looking forward to jumping into. Because I remember Rift's dungeons being really long, even if you're doing the early dungeons like the level 15 ones or something. I do remember them being absolutely longer than the average MMORPG, because you do have multiple quests that you can pick up in a dungeon, and then I would say think of it as like the early World of Warcraft dungeons, only it lasts a bit longer, and so that's something to look forward to next week's stream. Now, the one thing I can say so far that I've enjoyed or had fun in with Rift Prime is so far the landscape events. The game is called Rift for a reason, and Rifts appearing on the landscape is a big deal in Rift. It is the game's sort of landscape organic content. It's dynamic events on the landscape for Rift, and so far, based on memory and also from Sunday's stream, just being a part of that again and experiencing the big meta event, those Rift chain events that lead up to closing multiple rifts, and then there's a big boss fight at the end. That was super fun, and that brought back a lot of memories for me, because that's what I used to do, and that's what I used to, when I first experienced it, I was like, wow, this is pretty epic, but I hadn't played Guild Wars 2 at the time. Because this was pre-Guild Wars 2, and then when I played Guild Wars 2, obviously Guild Wars 2 has the similar event. You've got dynamic events, organic events that requires player participation, either actively or passively or whatever. You just have to be there and something starts. Same thing goes with Rift, and I do enjoy Rift's events a lot, and they do give you currency, they do give you good rewards as well, which is why you want to do them. And that really, for a game of that age or Rift for Rift or whatever, it does give you multiple ways to level, multiple ways to get experience and gear, which is nice. And on my review character, I'm still early days, but on my Defiant Rogue, he's level 20, and so far, there's PvP to earn XP and gear from, there's the dungeons to earn XP and gear from, and then you got the dynamic events in the landscape, all these rifts that you can do that is actually pretty lucrative if you spend the time doing them. And then there's questing. So at any given time, you'll have multiple things to do, and that's just in terms of progression. But moving forward, I do know there's a housing system called Dimensions, I think. I could be wrong. And a bunch more things that I haven't really checked out yet, because my prior experience before Rift Prime has only been for a month or 2 months, and I never got beyond level 30 or something. So that's why it's pretty exciting for me jumping back into Rift Prime, trying to get to the level cap and seeing as much as I can see. So I've been really impressed with that, dynamic map events, and the combat system so far. I hope it gets better, because right now it's kind of dull. And I'm thinking of re-rolling my character, my review character, because I picked a warrior, thinking almost all the MMORPGs that I've reviewed here on YouTube for you guys, I've always picked the warrior class. It's just simple, right? Fairly straightforward, nothing to bother with. But from what I saw, or what I've been hearing and reading for Rift Prime, there's a couple of classes that are way more fun than just picking the conventional stuff like the cleric or the rogue. and I really like the sound of the cleric class simply because of what he can do, and it has that archetype that I like. You know, you can heal and you can do DPS, and because of Rift's soul system or the class system, which is another plus point so far, being able to do, you know, customize your class offering in terms of what you want to do and how do you want to play in groups and what you want to offer in terms of your class and everything. I think that's really, really fun, and I'll be talking about that a lot more in the weeks ahead, but I do like that system. So yeah, I think I'm going to re-roll. I'm going to delete my warrior and I'm going to create a cleric, and we'll go from there. So next week's stream it could be a different character, but hey. So that's just my thoughts and a recap of the stream so far. Again, just to wrap up week 1, there are things that I know Rift does good, and I've already spoken about them. I think the map events are great. Rift is one of those games that can bring players on the landscape together without trying too hard, because there is a substantial carrot that's dangling there. You know you're going to get currency, planar rights, void stones, I think they're called, and a whole bunch of things if you do them a lot, and those can be those can help you in terms of getting PvE gear and a whole bunch of other things too. And somebody pointed out the cosmetic system to me too, like the wardrobe and everything. I think that's really great, but it's, again, still early days. I have a lot to see in terms of the combat. Early questing, kind of the same, fetch quests, kill quests, and stuff like that. But it's really rich in story, and for story hunters, I think you'll like what the world of Talara is and what the story is, involving the two factions, the Guardians and the Defiants. So I would say there's a lot of story to go through there. Unfortunately, not enough voice acting or voice dialogue, if that's your thing. But Rift, like I said on stream, Rift is one of those, it's the last line of traditional MMORPGs before the new generation came, which is fully voice cutscenes and just spoiled by better MMOs in that regard, I suppose. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. It's about 15 minutes long, and yeah, I'll see you guys this coming weekend for stream number 2. In the meantime, hope you guys have a great week, and yeah, I'll see you soon. So once again, I'm Adrian, and I thank you guys for watching. Roses are red, violets are blue. If you want to watch more videos, click on these cards. Anyone would do. And if you want to watch more videos, subscribe to the channel with the button down here. I know you want to.